My name is Engineer Yemi Okoshade. Today we are looking at another topic in STEM, that is mathematics. And we are going into an area that is commercial, business maths, or you call it commercial mathematics. And we're looking at one aspect of one topic under that has to do with enterprise. Every business person, every human being need to have a good understanding of compound interest, how compound interest is being computed. So we are looking at compound interest. From the school curriculum, the students in junior high school 3, GSS 3, are to be taught this particular topic. Then senior high school, SS3, is also featured there as one of the major commercial topic in mathematics. That tells you the importance. So it means that it's very relevant across board, from junior high school to senior high school. And to everyone out there who is into one business or the other, you will have something to gain from this particular topic. So let's go and see what the topic entails. Compound interest. Now, I'll be making reference to a particular question that I came across in the 2023 NECO WASC exam. And question number 9B of NECO 2023. There's a question there that is being set on compound interest, and it caught my attention. Though the set question there, Roman numerals 1 and 2, I have extended it to Roman numeral 6. I added 3 other questions so that from this particular topic, everything that you need to know as far as compound interest is concerned shall be taken care of. Now, what is the difference between compound interest and simple interest? You will recall that simple interest, I, is principal times rate times time over 100. The principal, P stands for principal, R stands for rate of interest on the principal. This is in percentage, this is in naira or dollar or euro, any currency you are using or that's available. Then T is time, duration of transaction, time of transaction. The transaction can be either lending or borrowing in years. If you are giving a month or in days, you have to convert it to years, okay? And I is simple interest. That is the amount that is accruable after a time t for a particular rate. Okay? So that is simple interest. Now for simple interest, the time, if an amount is borrowed or saved for a period of 5 years, in simple interest, your T is used as 5 years. Once, you just put it there, then you get your simple interest for 5 years. But for compound interest, so we can call this one IS, simple interest. Then for compound interest, IC, compound interest, if an amount is saved or borrowed or a loan is given out for a period of maybe 10 years, you have to begin to compute the interest on a yearly basis. End of year 1 year. End of year 2, 1 year. End of year 3, 1 year. Until you count 10 years. Now, at the end of every year, you get your interest, you add it to the principal, then you get a new amount. Because amount is principal plus interest. Now, the amount you get at the end of first year give you the principal, become the principal for the following year, for another 1 time year 1. You calculate the interest based on that and add to that preceding amount again to get another amount which becomes the principal for the next year until you get to the 10th year. Okay? So we'll get this done now, and then you need to understand this. So compound interest is cumulative on yearly basis. Okay, I want to clean this now. I want to clean this. I believe you have gotten that. Okay. Now, let's look at the fundamental formula that you need to know here. The first formula you need to know is the simple interest, because we deploy for you the formula for simple interest in compound interest, because you need to begin to calculate the interest on yearly basis. Each one adding it to the principal to get another principal for the succeeding year. So that means this formula simple interest is very important. The only difference is that this time turns to 1 on yearly basis. It becomes 1 year. So if it is 3 years transaction, you are going to apply this 3 times, okay? So this T is on yearly basis. That is the only difference when you want to compute compound interest, okay? So then you need to also know that amount equals to principal plus interest. The amount is the total amount at the end of the transaction. That it has to do with the principal, which is the starting capital or the starting financial target, then with the interest that is accruable, which you must have calculated based on this formula. Okay, so these 3 formulas are very, very important that you take note of. Now, when we talk about transaction, it can be seeking for loan or borrowing, as this man, Mr. Tony, has done this particular question. It can be lending. You can lend out. Okay? It can be lending out a particular amount of money. Okay? So these are business transactions. Now, at the end of this business transaction, it is expected that there will be interest, which can be either simple interest or compound interest. In this case, we are looking at compound interest associated to an amount that is being loaned out or being borrowed, or that is being used for a particular transaction. Now, in this method, I shall be looking at 2 different methods. I want to clear this now. Okay, there will be 2 methods of computing compound interest. Okay, there is methods. There is the formula method, which I would want to use first. Formula method. Then there is the analytical method. Analytical method. This one is per yearly basis, where you do the computation on yearly basis. Okay, this one when you use a formula directly. Okay, there's a formula that has been formulated for the final amount on a loan. Okay, so that one, if you adopt that formula, they come up, you are using formula method. Then there is one that has to do with taking this yearly basis, getting the interest and an amount, using that amount to become another principal for the following year, get the interest again, and so on and so forth. I would love to start with the analytical method. They will now confirm it with the formula method later, because that is what is expected mostly at the junior secondary school level, even though you are at liberty to pick whichever formula or method that pleases you. Okay? Now, in this particular problem now, let's address this method. I'm using analytical method to solve this. Mr. Tony took a loan of 120,000 naira. That's the principal. The principal is 120,000 at 12% per annum. That is the rate of interest rate at which this money is being loaned out. 12%. To buy a piece of land. That's a very good one. You see, when you want to go for loan that will earn you an asset and not liability. Assets and liability. Assets, anywhere it exists, will generate into a higher profit. I was going to see that here. Okay? So he went for an asset. Land is an asset because land appreciates in value over time. Now, so question 1 says if he paid the loan in 3 years, that's the time. Total time duration is 3 years. Okay? What was the total amount paid? What was the total amount paid? Now, for 3 years compound interest, it means that on yearly basis, an interest is being calculated and compounded until a certain amount of money is reached at the end of the third year. So by analytical method, we are going to take it year by year. We will calculate the interest and the amount at the end of the first year. So after first year, that means T is equals to 1 after first year. The interest based on this formula, principal times rate times time by what? 100 is principal is 120,000. The rate is 12. Time 1 year. Let's underline this. Okay, that's 1 year. You see that? Divided by 100. Now this 20 cancel this 20 here. So what I have left is we have 1,200. Okay, times 12 left. Now look at this. This 12 times 12, that's 144. Then you add this 20. Do you understand? Naira. That's interest. Now at the end of this one, you calculate the amount at the end of the first year. Amount is principal plus interest, like I told you. And the amount, the principal is 120,000, the starting capital. This amount, that is principal. Then plus the interest, we have 14,400. 14,400. So what do you have? 0, 0, this is 4, this is 4, this is 3, this is 1. It becomes, at the end of the first 1 year, we have 100 and what? I hope you have 134,400. We have 134,400. Okay? So now this becomes the principal for the second year. So after the second year, at the second year, T is another 1 year. Okay? It becomes another 1 year. Okay? Now you calculate the interest. Now it's as if it's starting all over again. That's why it's another 1 year. Okay? Okay, because after this 1 year, you may decide to say, oh, I'm not loaning you again, or I'm not doing the transaction again. Is that clear? So it goes with all this money. But it's for 3 years tenure. So we have this amount at the end of the first year become the principal at the second year. So we have principal times rate times time over 100. The amount at the end of the first year now becomes the principal in the second year. So we have 1,304,400 times the same rate. The rate has not changed. Okay, then times 1 divided by what? 100. So I have 1,344 because this 20 cancel this 20. So I have 1,344 times 12. So what is that? I have my calculator here. Let's quickly press that. That is 1,344. Okay, times 12. So I have 16,128. 16,128. Okay, naira. So let's know the amount at the end of the second year, which is principal plus interest. The principal now is this 134,400, okay, plus 16,128. Let's add. This is 8, this is 2, this is 5, this is 0, 3 plus 1, that is 4 plus 1, 5, and this is 1. So we have what amount is that? 100 and what? 50,528. I want to continue here. I can clean this now because I don't need this again. I can clean this. I can clean all this now. Okay. So at the end of the third year now, which is the final year, after third year, again that happens to be an additional 1 year. That's still 1 year. I need to calculate the interest. Interest is principal times rate times what? Time about what? 100. The amount at the end of the second year becomes the principal at the third year. So this is the principal now, our new principal. Okay? This becomes the principal next year, next for the following year, this one becomes the principal for the next one. So we have 150,528 times 12 times 1 divided by 100. Do you understand that? So again, let's see what we have there. We have 150,528, okay, times 12. Then divided by 100. What do I have? I have 18,063.36 kobo. Now, let's calculate the amount at the end of the third year. The amount now becomes the principal plus interest. Okay? The principal now is what? The principal is this 150, okay? 150,528 plus this amount 18,063.36. Now let's add that together. That is plus 150,528. Okay, I have, look at this, 168,591.36 kobo. Interesting. So at the end of this, the amount they are asking for here, this number one, if you paid the loan in 3 years, what was the total amount paid? Do you see that? The total amount he paid for is this at the end of the third year. That is the amount they are asking for. Okay? Now, the second part of the question says, part 2, find his profits if he later sold the land for 350,000, okay? Without what? Without incurring any added expenses. If you look at this amount he pays, there's already an added expenses, which is the interest, okay? Because it has been compounded, okay? So now, let's see what they're asking us there. I can clean this now. I can clean this. I can clean this. I can clean this. Now look at this. The selling price, SP, is 350,000. Do you see that? 350,000 naira. Okay? And the amount paid for the loan with the interest compounded is this 0.36. So the profit now would be this selling price of the land minus this final amount, AF, the final amount. Let's call that one AF. So if you use calculator for that, what do you have? You have 350,000, 1, 2, 3, okay, minus 168,591.36. Yes, we have 181,140 and 181,000, okay, 408, sorry, 181,408 and then what kobo? And 64 kobo. Do you see that? That is almost double, more than double self. That tells you that borrowing money to buy assets like land can be very profitable. In a space of 3 years, that money has over double what is he went to seek for the loan for. That is why the rich keeps getting richer. You see people like Dangote will go to CBN, will go to banks to go and borrow people's money and invest because it's an investor. And that is why they keep on getting richer and richer. They borrowed money, they will invest it on capital project and it will yield something that is very tremendous. Can you see that? Okay. Now, question number, I now added, that is the end of that question from the NECO exam. I now added some questions. What is number 2 above in percentage? What is number 2? That means this profit in percentage profit now will be that profit divided by the original capital, the original amount in loan, the loan you got, times what? That is 100%, okay? Okay? What is the profit that we made from this transaction? Okay? The profit that we made from this transaction, okay, is huge. Okay? So 181,408, that's the profit. From a loan of what? From a loan that is just what? 120. That is the initial capital. 120,000 times 100%. Okay, let's compute that. I have that times 100 divided by 120,123. Can you see that? 151.17%. More than 100% profit he was able to make from borrowing just 120 and ending up having this amount profit. That is interesting. Then calculate the compound interest paid on the loan. That's number 4. Calculate the compound interest on the loan. The compound interest. Now, compound interest is an accumulated interest from first year to the 3rd year. So that one is IC. It will be the final amount minus the original capital. Original amount loaned out. Original capital. The final amount is this 168,591.36. Okay? Then minus what is the original capital? It's 120,000. 120. That is the starting capital. Okay? Then let's subtract this. This is 6. This is 3. We have 1 here. This is 9. This is 5. This is 8. This is 4. Okay? So we have 48,591. That is the interest that he paid on the loan to whoever lends out the money. Okay? 48,591, 36 kobo. 48,591, 36 kobo. Did you get that? That is the compound interest. Then I have to say, compare and contrast the interest paid on the loan and the profit gain from selling the land. If you look at the interest and the profits, it's incomparable. You can almost get for the compound interest about 4 of it from the profit. That means the person make almost times 4 the interest he even paid. Can you see the sense in getting a loan for an asset and not for liability? Okay? He was able to make times 4. Because if you want to answer that question, you divide this profit by this compound interest. They tell you, give you the ratio. Let me just have an approximate value there. Let me just try that. Let's be sure of that. That's approximately 180, okay, divided by approximately 48, that's 50. Like I said, 3.6, almost approximately 4 times. I got 3.6. If you divide this amount by this, if you give me the ratio of turnover, of the profit to the interest they paid on that amount, that tells you that it's very huge. 3.6, that's approximately 4. Then, is Mr. Tony a wise investor? Comment. Is Mr. Tony a wise investor? Of course, you can see that he was able to make 151.17% profit from borrowing 120,000 naira. Yes, he is a wise investor. I hope you understand that. This goes for junior secondary school, senior secondary school class examination. Now, finally, let's look at. I want to clean all this now. To introduce to you briefly the formula method. With the formula method, I don't need to go into details of what you have done. Because that one is used to calculate the final amount. If you look at the question, I will clean this, I will clean this, I will clean this. So the method now is formula method now. Method 2. We are looking at formula method. Now, if you look at this, they said if you paid the loan in 3 years, what was the total amount paid? So they're asking for the final amount. Question mark. Okay, for an amount borrowed of 120,000 naira at the rate of 12% for time duration. For time duration, that is 3 years. Okay, so in this formula, the formula for amount, using the formula is principal into 1 plus rate of interest divided by 100 raised to the power the number of years, n. This n means number of years. Take note of that, numbers of years. Do you see that? Principal. So this gives us 120,000 into 1 plus 12 over 100. The number of years is 3 years, so you raise to the power 3. So this gives us 120,000 into 1 plus 12 divided by 100. That will give you 0.12. Then raise to the power 3. Then this is 120,000. 1 plus 0.12, that will give you 1.12 raised to the power 3. So I'm sure you know the meaning of this. 120,000 times 1.12 times 1.12 times 1.12. That is the meaning of this raised to the power 3. Okay, let's calculate that as we round up. 1, 2, 20, 1, 2, 3 times 1.12 times 1.12 times 1.12. Yes, we got 168,591.36 kobo. 168,591.36 kobo. Exactly what we got when we use analytical method. And then once you get that, you can now begin to answer over numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6 using this particular method, as I have done in the first method. Thank God for the introduction of enterprise in our school, secondary school, and the tertiary institution. I'm an advocate of enterprise development. Twice I've been certified by SMEDA, a government agency that's in charge of enterprise development in Nigeria. And with time, you'll be seeing some of my video production on enterprise development for school, secondary school, and tertiary institution. Those kind of things are coming on board. So it will be instructive to know that investing on assets like land, land, and some other tangible goods and services is far better than a liability that does not last for a long time. Liability can be enjoyable, but the enjoyment is just for a short while. So, thank you for being part of this. Please keep subscribing, sharing, and supporting this educational channel. We have a great deal to bring across you. Thank you. Do have a wonderful day.